good morning, good morning. This is Monday Morning Mindset. And what is mindset and why does it matter? So, mindset is a combination of your thoughts and your feelings that affect your actions, that lead to everything, control everything that you do in your life. So, mindset is critically important. And we have mindset this morning with Sacred Mountain. So this is Monday Fun Day, and we're in the Northern Lights harvest. And so I'm coming on here early to do this live with Sacred Mountain. So, what is Sacred Mountain? We probably all, a lot of us remember this oil um, that Gary made for himself to bring him into that place of safety. And this is an oil that, just always take a drop of the oil. Why? Because it's Monday, Fun Day. We start out with Sacred Mountain. Just put it on your hands. Take deep inhalations of that oil. Just take some deep inhalations. Hold it at the peak of your breath and blow out. This is an oil that helps you to not compromise. Have you ever compromised your own integrity, compromised, what it is that your own beliefs, you compromise. And that's, it really prevents you from compromise. Is actually, when you compromise, you're simply not standing in your own truth. And so Sacred Mountain is an oil that helps to take you out of that and allows you to stand in your own truth instead of, kind of giving it up to please others, giving it up to, you know, in situations where you feel like, ugh. And so you compromise. And I've done it. I know you've done it. Doesn't feel good. Sacred Mountain is an oil that helps us to stay in that safe place of security within ourselves so that we don't compromise our own truth. And in regards to that, I have a story. Actually, it's not the kind of stories I don't often tell this kind of story, but I thought it was so powerful. And so I want to just read you a little story here about Cork. So it says a cork tree is ready for its first harvest when it's about 20 years old. And the first harvest is of poor quality and can only be used to make agglomerated cork products. Subsequent harvests occur at 9-year intervals. So think about this. You have to wait for 20 years to get your first harvest, and then there's only harvests at 9-year intervals after this. And this is when the cork reaches a thickness of about 1 to 2 inches. And the harvest from a young tree yields about 35 pounds, while the yield of an older tree may be 500 pounds. And each tree has a lifespan of 150 years. And so think about this. Would you work and labor for something you loved for 9 years before you got any return for the first time? 20 years. Labor of love for 20 years before you got any return from the work that you put in. And then you don't get any more return for another 9 years. So this is such a huge lesson. And the interesting thing about cork is that cork has very, very interesting qualities. It's very resilient. It's made up of all these little compact cells that have all, I think it's like 14 sides that each cell has. It's kind of like, if you could think of like kind of maybe and what's that stuff? Bubble wrap. If you could think about bubble wrap, it's kind of like bubble wrap, only there's so many millions of cells in it. And it has this, it's like a microscopic layer of this bubble wrap that is so resilient. And it can take up to 1,400 pounds of pressure. And within 25 minutes or 20, is it 25? I think it's actually 25 hours. It comes back to its regular density. And so it's very resilient. It doesn't attract moisture. It doesn't allow rot. It's such a resilient product. And it's even used for polishing diamonds, which is what I love. One of the points that I really love about this. So think about you in your life. You have all these 100 trillion cells in your body. They're very resilient. They're there to support you. They're like hundreds of soldiers marching along beside you, with you, to support you, to keep you in that place where you can bounce back regardless of the pressures in your life. You bounce back regardless of, all of the things. I think cork is also fire retardant. So all of the pressures and the heat that come on us, we have this resiliency inside of us that allows us to shine, to regrow, to bloom, to stand out in whatever circumstance we're in. And so often with these pressures in life, we want to compromise. And instead of standing in our truth, we submit to the pressures and don't allow our true beauty to shine, because why, we're all diamonds in the making, and we have what we need to be polished into that diamond. So use your sacred mountain all week long this week. Just continually take a drop, put it in your hand, think about all of those 100 trillion cells that you have that are there to support you. Take some deep inhalations of it. Stand in your truth and go forth and shine like a diamond, the diamond that you're meant to be in every aspect. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss Monday morning lives. It's Monday Fun Day, the day we get to start all over again and do everything again and be our best. So have an absolutely amazing week. Mm. See you next week, same time, same place. Bye for now.